Hello, hello, hello. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, officially in November. It's basically
Wow.
Christmas already, you know?
Don't do that. Don't do that. We still got Thanksgiving and a ham on the way. Don't rush my life away.
No, you're right. You're right. I do love Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
So very
come on.
excited for Thanksgiving. But
Mhm.
but the holidays are upon us, you know, and what better way to celebrate the kickoff of this, sort of holiday season with a new season of the Challenge. The Challenge 39,
Bum, bum, bum.
battle for a new champion. Super, super pumped to get into this with you guys. We'll be talking about the first two episodes of the Challenge 39. So let's not waste any time, right? Let's kick this sucker off. All right. My name is John Dunphy Judea. Of course, standing my queen, Mariah. We also have, my ride or dies here, Mr. Kyle Petty Lay, standing Corey Lay.
My king!
And Miss Gina Morgino Kaiser, standing, of course, the amazing Olivia Kaiser. So
That is my girl.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Ladies rule the castle. For the talent here.
That's
We're
right.
an Olivia Stan account. Thank
Yes.
you.
That's right. We love Olivia here.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah. I can't wait to start, talking about this season with you guys because I feel like we've been getting a lot of spin-offs lately, right? USA and World Championship and all that stuff. And we've liked it, but it's good to be back with like the MTV, main stage season,
It
right?
is. I totally agree. I feel like it's back to basics. This is it. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. And obviously we haven't seen them yet, but we will still be getting some of our vets, some previous champions from other seasons. But right now it's all about the new blood. We've got 24 competitors, and they have two things in common. All of these people, they are not rookies. They have all appeared on some version of the challenge, but also they have never won the challenge. So we are guaranteed to have a brand new champ. The first thing I kind of wanted to ask you guys about, though, was what do you think about the format of this season? Because they're doing some things that we've never seen before. One, all these 24 competitors, we're not working in pairs in a daily challenge or working individually or in teams or separate teams that are competing against each other. We have 24 people on one big team, all trying to add money to the prize pot, which started out at $300,000, but through competitions and working together, they can build that all the way up to $500,000. So that's one big difference that we've seen so far is that they're working together as a team to add money to this prize pot. How do you feel about this little change up in the format?
I don't love that they're starting with a low amount and potentially adding to the prize pot. I would almost rather see them start with a bigger amount and potentially lose money from the prize pot if they don't, because
savage cutthroat Morgina.
No. I think that's better because I don't
Indeed,
know.
it's her.
Something about like as soon as he was like, and you're playing for this amount of money, literally every single person was like, that's what I came out here for. Is like, I don't know.
Which I don't know why that. Well, all right. Well, not to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off because I also think that reaction was a little stupid. Like we have played this game before, 500,000 split between two. So if you're only going to get one, I don't know what everybody thought that was bad about. I was like, oh, 300, okay, good for y'all.
Two is like, I have to imagine, I mean, maybe not after what we heard with USA 1, but I have to assume they know going in what they're playing for, no? Like they know what they're signing up for, or do they literally not know until they get there?
I'm not sure.
I kind of think they don't know. And I got to be honest, if somebody asked me to be on the show, I don't care. You can give me $1. I just want to play one of these games.
Yeah,
Right.
us, but not people who like have made a career doing reality TV. You know what I mean?
Well, and arguably these people have not.
Yeah, these
For
people,
reality
yeah.
TV,
No, I know. I'm just
they
being
all
rude.
come from other shows.
Right. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't bothered by the fact that we're adding to a team bank. I'm more bothered by the fact that I feel like I don't really understand what's happening yet. You told me that the first segment of this game was control, and then I think the second one is chaos. And what is the last one?
Yeah.
Conquest.
Conquest. Yeah.
And what does any of that mean? If you don't tell me what it means in the beginning, then it doesn't mean anything to me, right? So, like, so what? Oh, soon it's going to be chaos. All right, well, that doesn't mean anything to me. So whatever to your twist, it just wasn't properly explained as far as I'm concerned. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
will
still
say,
jazzed. I'm jazzed.
yeah.
You know,
And I will say that I do actually kind of agree with Kyle about the like. I didn't really get the super negative reaction to hearing that the winner, because we're only getting one winner, is going to get 300 grand. Like,
right. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it makes sense to have a lower amount if only one person is winning because you're not splitting it.
Right, and it's still more than what you would have gotten if you won the split prize. What's the problem?
Right.
300?
Right.
Y'all ain't never went up before?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
No, that's fair.
And I do enjoy seeing them have to work together right now because you can see that there are certain people that feel like they should be the leaders that want to come up with the strategy and stuff.
It's so
like,
messy. It's
yeah,
so messy.
so like
that's super fun.
It's like
that's super fun.
It makes it interesting because it's like obviously there's no winners of the competition. They're going to go back to the house and nominate people for elimination. But you know, if you were the person that stepped up and made the plan and the plan failed, all the eyes might be on you. Or if you were the person that performed the worst in the challenge, the eyes might be on you. Like it's I don't know, the way that it's set up is pretty interesting to me. I kind of like it.
That part of it I like.
Yeah.
I'm also enjoying what I think is interesting is that even after well, you said we were gonna like kind of just merge these two episodes together, right? So obviously the first person who kind of led the charge in episode 1 also raised his hand to lead the charge in episode 2, and it was like myth that he wasn't leading. That is not what we see usually. Like, you know what? Everything sucked last time.
Right.
Let me just sit back. I don't want any more heat on me. Homeboy was like, what? I'm not running things. I'm not the leader. Y'all not listening to me. And I was like, I don't know why you would want that. It paints a target on your back. So I just think that's interesting. I think that's kind of like the naivete.
I mean, I don't know. I
playing this game.
I feel like that's not shocking. Like, I just kind of like assume that all of like the dude bros in the house are gonna come in and be like, I'm in charge. And this is my game. Like, I was like, yeah, that's about what I expect. That's pretty much what I thought would happen.
Yeah. What did you think they would do?
I stop always trying to make me do it again.
I knew she wouldn't do it again. I knew she wouldn't do it again.
I know.
But I don't know. Sometimes maybe you win. Maybe you win. If you don't keep trying, you're definitely gonna know.
All right. I mean, I guess let's talk about the competitions a little bit. So,
yeah,
the first thing that I noticed about these daily challenges is that I don't know what MTV is up to, but these are some very suggestive names of these competitions. Did you notice that the first daily challenge was called Hole Control, and the second daily challenge was called Ball Control? I don't know. That's just my very immature mind being like, what are they getting at here?
I actually didn't think anything of that.
Yeah, that's just my immature brain.
Yeah.
I get name, but I even saw like on Twitter people being like, not hole control.
I didn't think anything of it, but now I like it.
Yeah. So in Hole Control, we had, I think they only had, was it 10 minutes or something like that, right? All the competitors, all 24 of them are down in this big hole. And they have to get not only themselves out of the hole, but these huge long cylinders that they then have to form like a puzzle out of. And it's really just the challenge logo. Kieran was the one that stepped up in this to come up with the plan. And they did get everybody out of the hole, but the puzzle was not completed. So this was a pass or fail challenge. If they passed, they would have earned $50,000 to put towards the pot. If they failed, they get nothing. Now, this was interesting because obviously it was Kieran's plan. So does he have responsibility for the whole competition because they got out of the hole, but the puzzle wasn't completed? And of course, the guys immediately start pointing all the fingers at the girls for not getting the competition done and getting the money banked. Any thoughts on this? Should Kieran have taken the blame or the girls?
I mean, I don't know if Kieran should have taken the blame for everything. My favorite part of this episode was the fact that in this little like deliberation-y meeting that they had, all of the men were complaining that nobody from the women wanted to be a leader. And then about 5 minutes later, you see James having a freaking conniption over the fact that they lost the challenge because all of the women wanted to be the leader. And it's like, okay, now hold on. Are you mad because nobody took charge or because too many people took charge? Because it can't be both.
Yeah.
Well, except that it kind of can, in my opinion. It depends on the timing of both. Like, not enough people were raising their hand, except for my girl Berna. Berna was trying to take control.
She was totally ignored,
and no one was listening to her, right? But then, like, no one else really had any other ideas, right? So they just kind of just went with his. But now, once you get to the puzzle, now all of a sudden, everyone's got input. Like, at that point, I feel like whether it's male or female, when you have a whole separate group, you've got to elect one, maybe two people to kind of lead the charge, or so you're going to get exactly what you got there, just complete chaos. Somebody's got to be able to sit back. Like we even see that in Survivor. Who's going to be standing on the perch while, you know, they direct you for the puzzle? You can't all be chiming in. You're all like too close. Some people just need to be pole movers, and somebody needs to be puzzle planners, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not what we got here. Everybody wanted to be everything, and then we're surprised that it was chaos. That's not supposed to be the stage of the game that we're at.
And this is me. I totally agree, Kyle. And this is not me making it like a man versus woman thing, because that's not. I don't.
No, it's just two groups of people.
I don't see that the women
chaos.
failed or anything, but it's just the example that I'm thinking of might make people think that way, because in this moment, and not specifically Michelle, but Michelle is probably one of the most veteran players on this season. And like, she is the type of person, or someone like Michelle, who has some seasons under her belt. I think in that moment at the puzzle, it might have been good for one of them to say, guys, there's too many voices here. Let's just have these two people direct people, you know, everyone else grab a poll, you know, like it would have been good in that moment. Cause it was Kieran's plan overall, but he was still down in the hole for most of the puzzle being built. I think once you get some of these people out of there, if Michelle's there, or even people like Horacio and Olivia, like it's only one season under their belt, but like they were all-star players last time, you know, like, and it's like, if one of those people that has a little more experience had been like, all right, you two tell us where to put the polls, everyone else just grab a poll and move it, you know, like, they just have not found a way to like actually work together yet, it feels like.
I think Michelle tried to.
Yeah.
If I remember. I think she tried.
We even kept seeing
her either.
We kept seeing her in like her confessionals too, being like, I like put this one here because I know this goes here. I said, this is the C, don't touch it. And then I would move to choose something else. And then all of a sudden the C went from over here to over there. And I was like, no, I said that's where the C goes. Why are we moving the C? Then we put it back. And I turned around to something else. Now the C is all the way down there. And it's like, well, I put it there. Like, that's where it goes.
Right.
I just feel like they needed somebody to step back, like somebody to step up and be like, everyone go 10 feet that way. I don't even want you near the puzzle. We're going to have 5 people here. 2 of them are going to tell the other 3 where to move the polls. Like, that's because when you like the chaos that was going on in front of that puzzle, there was like 20 people there. Like, how can anyone even see anything?
Away. I couldn't do all of that. You know, just forget it. Just forget it. Y'all figure it out.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And the men getting out of that hole was painful to watch. I was just waiting for a shoulder to be dislocated.
I'm amazed that they got out of that unscathed.
Yes. I can't believe no one got hurt in that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were close.
Each other. Yeah.
Especially there was one, I don't remember who it was, but someone was getting their arms pulled up this way and their legs pulled down this way. And I was like, you are going to get ripped in half.
Yeah, like, wasn't it Jay like holding on? He was like,
it might have been
Kieran or somebody was trying to climb up him.
It looked like he was going to get ripped in half.
Right, your name ain't Gumby.
Oh my god,
what is this?
Yeah, that was wild. But okay, so I guess we should talk about this move in a little bit too, because we mentioned Berna and how she was just getting ignored at the daily challenge. No one was taking anything that that she wanted to say, any input from her. And then we saw Berna continue to have some troubles when they got to the house. I guess she's very close with Michelle and Huey. and rooms, I guess, had been sort of decided already. So it continued for Berna when she got back to the house and realized that she wasn't going to be able to room with people she wanted to. Berna's definitely somebody that I'm excited to see on this season. But what do you think of the start of the game that she's had so far?
Rough.
She's had some
Yeah.
rough times.
She's having a hard time.
Yeah, she's having a hard time. But I am also of the opinion, though, that people sometimes that have a rough start have a nice end. Because you kind of remember the chaos that happened in the beginning, and then it doesn't really get repeated later on. Like people kind of like leave you alone a little bit. So I'm hoping that'll be the case for Berna. It definitely looked like she was being a little like almost bullied in a way. Like it almost kind of felt uncomfortable watching some of it. I see that she's a little abrasive. She was definitely rubbing people like the wrong way, but I don't think she's harmful.
And
Like,
I had forgotten, like, as this episode was kind of fleshing out, like, I had forgotten that was such a point of contention in her last season, too. And, like, as soon as it started happening, I went, oh, shit, I do remember you having this problem.
Yeah. She just relates to people differently.
I still don't even remember her first season, like her being like that. I don't even remember. I just like Berna for some reason, though. Like I like her.
Like it wasn't really.
She's fierce.
And it wasn't her being any type of way. It was just the way that people took her personality. You know, like I don't necessarily
the way everyone
think.
else perceived her.
I don't think she had done anything wrong. People were just rubbed the wrong way by her. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do you guys think so far about these deliberations? These deliberations are so chaotic. We're not actually voting on anything in them. Like no one's actually being decided on going into the into the elimination. But we've seen two pretty wild performances in these deliberations. First, from Jessica.
My whole thing in the deliberation is like if we're not making a decision in that moment and it doesn't have to be a unanimous vote, I don't know why we're doing this. Like, it's just chaos for chaos sake, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I
kind of agree. Like, because it's not ending in a decision.
Right.
So like,
we're not deciding anything here, and there's no reason that all of the group needs to be on the same page.
All right. So there's no reason for us to have this conversation. Like, let's all go into the corners like we used to, like Survivor. Can you imagine if like everyone just sat down and just had a conversation and had to leave with nothing settled? Like, that's such a weird thing. Like,
you're alliance members, and like that's that.
Right. Bye.
Because it's also like,
all right, so you're good. You're not going to do what I'm doing. I'm not going to do what you're doing. All right.
Because
what you eating for dinner? Like, what is the point?
It's not even like you're nominating possibilities of people to vote on later. Like it's not like, oh, these are the people that we're up against. So, I mean, it kind of ends up being that way, but it's not like these are the people that we're torn against. Now you give us reasons why you shouldn't go in. No, it's like, all right, everybody, why shouldn't you go in? Let's all have this like little meeting about what all of us bring to the table. Like it's just, it doesn't really, I don't know.
I kind of like it though because it is so open-ended and like it's just a recipe for chaos because like whoever is feeling like they're in danger is going to feel like they have to speak up, and maybe they do a really good job of making their case. Like I think Huey did in episode 2. Like people loved what Huey had to say and his name was being put out there, and then you had Jessica and Chauncey, and it was like the complete opposite effect. It's like people were kind of saying their name, but then it just solidified for them like who they wanted to nominate once we eventually did get to the arena.
Yeah, it got messy.
Yeah, I guess there's something to be said for that. Like it does allow you the opportunity. If you feel like you're in hot water, it does give you the opportunity to address everyone as a group and hear the same message instead of like the silly games of telephone that we play in these games. And then when everybody goes to their respective corners, they can have some more conversations, but they all heard the same message as I intended. So I guess there's something to be said for that. But when you see like how Jessica spiraled so far down,
oh my God,
because of this, it was just painful to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in her brain that she decided, I have a lot of money already. This money means nothing to me. Was the appropriate pitch to not go in. What are you doing?
That was the standout moment for me when you start telling nobody's even got home yet, and you're already saying like this money means nothing to me. I wasn't
You
going to
are
keep it anyway.
You're here to win money. The whole
Right.
purpose that you're
Oh,
here is to play a
God.
game to win a lot of money. How on day
Mhm.
one are you going to say, I don't need this money, and expect that nothing's going to happen?
Yeah. You got people in there trying to support their families. I read something earlier that Chauncey joined the game 2 days after his and Amber's daughter was born. Literally 2 days after the baby's born, he's coming on the challenge for the sole
Clearly
reason
needs
of
the
like
money.
trying to earn the money for his family. And you have this other person sitting here going like, the money means nothing to me. It's like, all right, well then get out of here.
Why
Means
would you
something to
say
everybody else.
that?
Exactly. Rightfully so. See you later, babes.
Like
Really
I don't
strange.
know what her
It's really,
end
really
game was
strange.
there.
Yeah.
No one does.
Because like
I'm not even.
she tried to spin it as like, well, since I don't need the money and I'm not trying to win, I would just be a guaranteed vote for you. But she was saying it to the room. Like that wasn't her pitch to like a person to be like, hey, keep me in your alliance. Like I'll just like play for you. She said it literally to the entire cast, was like, I'll just be a vote for you. Like you can't be a vote for everybody. So
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
But yeah, I do like these deliberations. I think part of it is because it almost feels to me like a forced house meeting, like a house meeting you'd get in Big Brother, but it's it's just part of the game. Every week we need to have a house meeting, and it could get crazy. Like, and that's why like I am enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I just wish it ended with a decision.
Yeah.
You know,
even like options
because
of like these
otherwise-
are the top 3 people that we're choosing between, like something.
yeah, something. Put somebody up, do something, because that
Yeah.
definitely is old school challenge. Like we love to get everybody in one room and just have a chat, right? But doing it like this and it doesn't actually mean anything. I guess it'll be interesting to kind of see how this goes on. And have these first few deliberations kind of like laid the groundwork for how they go forward. Is it always going to be the person who feels endangered just taking this as an opportunity to defend themselves, or do people start using these deliberations to further their intentions? Like, listen, I want so and so out, and this is why. It'll be interesting to see if that shifts as we go on. So there's still hope.
I also wonder if, because this game is in 3 sections or whatever it is, if we're going to have this same deliberation format the full way through.
Yeah, maybe the purpose of said deliberations changes as we continue.
Because I mean, from my understanding, once we get to the second phase, there is no 2 challengers going against each other. It's someone and the
A champion.
Mercenary,
yeah.
whatever we want
So
to call them. Yeah.
I don't know if that changes the way that they're if that's still just like, and we're choosing the one person to go in against a mercenary. I don't know, how that's going to affect the coming phases.
That's interesting too.
That would make sense to me too, because if we're in the control phase, right? It's like right now it makes sense for that to be like, we have this deliberation or whatever. You can speak up and try to control your game and like throw yourself in if you want, but then everybody votes, and then even the person that gets voted into elimination has control, and that they can call out whoever they want. Which is that something that you like too? That you can just if you're voted into elimination, you can call out.
I do like that.
Want? Yeah.
I do like
I've always liked that.
Yeah.
You put me down here, I get to decide who I go against. Yeah. I'm now in control of things. Yeah. And if you dare to put me down here, you better be ready to get me out of here. Didn't we have that somewhere? Like that was certainly a function before in one season of the challenge. You put me down here, you better be prepared to send me home. I feel like people have said things like that before.
Right.
Yeah. So no, that I like. I like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Give them some more control.
Do you like the public vote in the arena itself also? Like just going down the line, say a name. Because I
don't like it right now.
Yeah.
I'll like it later.
I will say that I think and this is the premiere. So like when Jessica went in, for example, to elimination, the first person said Jessica's name, and then the very next person said, well, they said Jessica, so I'm going to say Jessica. And it's like, is
Yes,
everyone just voting because they don't want to be the odd man out, even though Horacio
right.
threw that random rogue vote?
But that's the thing is like, Horacio's whole play there was like, well, I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want to just go with whatever the group wants to do. So I'm going to say somebody else's name. Huge target on his back the moment that he did it, because now it's like, all right, well, why are you saying one, his alliance is like, well, why aren't you voting with the rest of us? And two, Big T is like, what the hell, dude? What'd I
Yeah,
do? Why are you saying my name?
Right. And I also don't understand why he thought that was a good move anyway. Because at least if Jessica was coming back into the game, then you could at least say, well, everyone else did it, so I just did it too. What do you say to Big T now?
Yeah.
right.
When you were the one dissenter, and there was clearly where he was in the lineup, she was never going to get enough votes to be going in.
Right.
So you just did it like for what?
Yeah, it
Can you
was
imagine if you were Big T, you just sticking it to me for no reason? Like, what is that?
right. I would
Um,
like that, and I don't think I think Horacio is a very nice guy, so I don't think it would be a personal thing. But I could see why someone would say that, like, what are you taking a personal shot at me, like for no reason? Like,
right,
there's
right.
Right.
Literally no
Wasn't he
reason.
like the last
Because I was
one to
never
vote?
going in.
he was the last
If he
person.
wasn't the last one, oh, he
Yeah,
was. Okay.
yeah,
So at that point,
Even
just do it.
stupider.
It's the first one. Just go along with what every other person
Right.
said.
even Jessica voted for herself. Like,
And this voting for yourself stuff is like really fucking whack.
I mean, like,
That's
I get
so
it to
whack.
a point. It's just boring because, like, I can see that you're like, well, if I'm the person that comes back in, and now I called out a person that got no other votes, now I have like a rivalry with that person. Like, I get that piece to it, but at the same
But they
time,
said your name too. It's like what you so mad about?
right?
Like none of y'all can be mad at me because you all said my name too. So fuck off. Like
yeah,
Especially if by the time they get to you, there have already been other names said. It's like, all right, well, it's me, and then you've also said this other person's name, so I might as well just say their name. They've already been said, you know?
yeah, like ugh, I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, no, it was very weird. All right, let's talk about the second daily challenge. We had hole control. Now let's talk about ball control. So this was in the water, and we had an elevated platform, and there were 2 ropes dangling from each platform. And also in the water was a circle that had, I guess it was 23 balls inside this circle, and each ball had a different challenger's name on it. So the goal here was to get all of these balls up to the platform and then placed down this long tube, but only the player whose name was on the ball could actually drop it down the tube. So you had to get all these balls up here first, then get everybody up, and then that way each person could go and individually put their ball in.
Mhm.
Didn't do so great in this one either. They failed the first challenge.
Oh,
Luckily, this wasn't just a straight like pass or fail challenge. This was as many balls as you get in, you can rack that money up. They still only got 3, so it was 2,000 per ball, 6,000 total. So the pot is now up to $306,000. But this was a rough challenge for a lot of people. There was only one side that actually made it up to the top of the platform. The other rope
Mhm.
was nowhere close. And it seemed like the 2 people that were called out the most for like performance in this challenge were Huey and Chauncey. Huey was having a tough time like climbing up all the bodies along the way, and then Chauncey wasn't able to clip in at one point. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly I haven't loved these daily challenges so far. I don't know about you guys. I like
is this one better? But it's not saying much.
yeah.
Oh, I actually preferred the whole one over this one.
Really?
This Yeah, this felt really, really impossible. Like because you put such a time limit on this thing, I'm like, how do you? It's hard
It
enough
was
to just
wild because
scurry
it
up.
was like what, a minute a ball? Like what?
It's 23 minutes,
Yeah, like
23 balls, yeah.
it's hard enough to scurry up a rope if no one else is on
Mm.
there. How are you going up there when there's people there? You don't even because you'd be so scared that you're going to hurt somebody as you're trying to go up. At least if you were shimming up by yourself, you would not care how hard you are forcefully pushing your foot into the rope or anything like that. You might try to like do different things. There's somebody's body there. Like I don't want to use you as a step, but I'm forced to. You're also only held on by what? A carabiner?
Right.
Like
Which, can I just say,
what
I
is
I know
that?
we all have PTSD, but I had a real hard time trying to watch Olivia clip herself in on this carabiner.
Oh.
I was really stressed out.
You know, gosh, this was like, yeah, it wasn't. It felt like something they didn't really have a chance of succeeding in, so I didn't really enjoy watching it. Like
It looked so
I knew they were
painful.
not going to. Yeah, I knew this wasn't going to fly.
Yeah.
Once they added that point of it, that the person whose name was on the ball had to be the one to get it in, it's like that means you're also expecting everyone to be able to get up this thing, not
Right.
just rely on one and actually just make a ladder or like some
Because
kind of
I
assembly
had
line going up.
forgotten
That's too
I had
much.
forgotten that point, and when I saw, I don't remember if it was Colleen who got up there first or Melissa. I don't remember who it was, but
I think it
whoever
was Colleen.
she got
Melissa
up there
never made
first.
it. She was almost there. She wouldn't let them pull her over.
Gotcha. Because she ran up there and she put hers in, and I was like, she's just gonna run back and forth and be like, I got this. And then I remembered that it has to be like only yours, and I was like, wait a second. Even like the
No.
people, so now the people like Horacio has to unclip himself and climb up everybody after he's been like the bottom, almost like drowning this
Right.
entire
Like what
competition. Like,
exactly?
what
Like
do you mean?
what? Like I felt yeah, I feel like you just set them up to fail. I'm like, that's not fun to me.
Yeah, it's like it's not like you can like clip in and just hang out there. It's like you have people literally stepping on you and pulling on you, and like it's and you're in the water. Like I don't know. I
Stupid.
haven't been a huge fan of these daily challenges so
Yeah, I
far.
don't love
No,
them.
not yet. Not
Um,
yet.
but okay. So we talked about deliberation, we talked about Jessica, but Chauncey was really the star of the second deliberation. But
Ugh.
not for the best reasons. I
Yikes.
felt so uncomfortable. I felt bad because I actually like Chauncey, but this
I
was just so hard to watch. The way he would go from Horacio to Michelle to Olivia and ask them all the same question: "Have I ever done you wrong?" And they all said yes.
It hurt. It hurt. Ugh.
This was rough.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and like I guess, like I said, that's why I kind of like these so far. It's because I'm sure we would have had some interesting conversations if these were just like separate private conversations. But like when somebody's like got to fight for their life in front of the whole house, like it just makes for good TV, you know? Like,
But it's also like, I'm sorry, if you know that you have burned somebody, why in front of everybody would you be like, have I ever done you wrong? Knowing you have. Like, there's no way that he didn't know he did all those things, you know? I
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
And it's hard to watch also knowing that you didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no decision being made in this group. So
Uh,
why are you doing this? If you want to address any of those things that you think you may have done in a previous season, go
do
talk to
it
them in a
later.
corner
Yeah.
somewhere. Yes, like the way we used to do. Instead of airing everything out in front of everybody for no reason. Like I don't know. So if people weren't against you, they would be after hearing those things.
Yeah.
right.
And just so point and for what?
Yeah,
There was no upside to any of that,
yeah. Well,
as we saw.
but all right, we do have. So we talked about both daily challenges, and we've talked about
Mm,
deliberation. We do have
mm.
some alliances that are forming already, or have been talked about even before the season began. Um, I was a little nervous at first during episode 1 when it looked like it was just going to be a very like sort of childish like men versus women because it seemed like
Yeah.
that's what we were destined for. The men wanted to put all the blame on the women for the how they failed the daily challenge, which I thought was definitely unfair. Um, so I was worried that that's what like this season was going to become. But once we got into episode 2, we saw that there are actually some real lines here, some real alliances. Apparently, there's a U.S. alliance, um, and you know, I guess it's a pretty even split between U.S. players and international players.
Seems
Uh,
really excited about it.
yeah. Well, what do you think? I mean, do you like that? Like these sort of alliances are. It kind of gives me the vibes of like War of the Worlds a little bit, but not as official as like you know, as it was during that season. It's kind of like an unofficial War of the Worlds, but it's like it's better to me at least than men versus women.
Actually, I would prefer men versus women in this scenario because you know that if you select a man, that man can call you down. Like this makes a little bit more sense to me. It's very cut and dry. Like this, I'm tired of US versus UK or whatever. Who cares? We did that already. We did it more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, of course, we've done the men versus women thing, but I see a very direct game result in it, because I'm not going to nominate a man knowing that you specifically can call me down, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's not like we're dealing with a silly ass hopper that like we already know production was manipulating anyway. Like this is like, this feels a little riskier. Like, no, I'm not putting no man in so he can call me down. Like, no way. US versus UK and like whatever. And like, it's not even all UK. So what is it? Just
US versus the world.
Everyone else.
yes, which is a very, very sad statement for really the state of the world now.
I mean, it just feels like real life. Like,
Exactly. And it's like, that's not fun to me. That's not fun to me. It's always US against the rest of the world. Everyone hates us. So damn it.
Well, we'll see how long like these alliances really hold for too, because I think we're already going to start seeing some dissension. I mean, we saw, so obviously, it seems like Jay either is or wants to be the leader of this U.S. alliance, and they were already starting to put, apparently Chauncey is a part of this. But Jay and Chauncey had a pretty awkward conversation at one point where it seemed like they didn't really trust each other. And then pretty soon we saw Chauncey's name being put out there by, a lot of the people in this U.S. alliance. So one of the only people that was actually like riding for Chauncey that wanted to protect him was Raven, which was putting a lot of strain on her relationship with not only the whole U.S. alliance, but the other ride or dies, Challenge 38 girls like Mariah, Nerese, Olivia. So I feel like, and that's like another, I guess, little sub alliance within the U.S. alliance that I noticed. So I feel like we're already starting to see some cracks in this. Like, I don't know how long this can really last. It's a lot of people, I feel like, to try to keep happy in this big United States alliance. So I don't know how long that'll last.
also, not to mention, like, I know a lot of these players, have only played like a season or whatever, but there's like all of the past drama from like everybody in their other seasons too. Like, I'm sure there is drama between people who are on Ride or Dies together. I'm sure there is drama between people who are on what's it called? Spies, Lies, and Allies together. Like, there are other cracks in this besides just like I don't know if it's sustainable enough to like, let's get everybody else out and then we focus in on each other in the same way that it's like the rookies and the vets in a normal season. I don't know if that's gonna kind of hold the same weight here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know either. But I will say that's kind of the exciting thing, though, that since we're dealing with so many new people and people who haven't already won, I'm excited to kind of see how some of those social things play out. Like definitely, this is not going to be your mama's challenge season, right? This is not classic. This is going to be a little bit more explosive and a little bit more unpredictable, I think. Once we get a little bit more down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the back.
Because they're not people that are unfamiliar to each other. That's what's also interesting with this. They haven't won. They're not new to this. So like, they've all spoken outside of the game and things like that. So there are pre-existing relationships that we're going to get to see how they kind of get tested and tried.
Yeah. No, definitely. All right. What do you think of our early season showmances? Anybody enjoying the blossoming love between Kyland and Melissa?
Look, listen, with love and respect, that is the thirstiest man I've ever seen on reality TV. I'm sorry. I love Kyland, but oh my lord, Kyland. Sir, chill.
Aww. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know. She obviously had that little thing with him over not wanting to kiss him in public and stuff like that. And he blamed some of the uncomfortability with it on the fact that he has autism. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh, really? And he's been pretty open about it on socials.
Oh, yikes. Missed it all.
Me too.
So sorry.
I also missed it.
But I thought that was interesting. But I only thought it was interesting because I learned more about Kylie.
Sure.
It had nothing to do with Melissa. Yeah. But I like her. I like Melissa. I drafted her. I just don't know that I love this.
You've got them both, and I've got the other show, man. So yikes for us.
That's right. Michelle and Callum, right? Michelle and Callum.
No,
Some late night chats.
Looks like a hot mess.
That one's gonna turn into a disaster. Even like people on Twitter were talking about like what a disaster this is gonna turn into, and Michelle tweeted and she was like, "Y'all just freaking wait." And I was like,
"Uh-oh, good, good."
I'm nervy.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait.
And it's too bad because up until it came out that Callum actually does have a girl back home, like I was starting to like him. Like I was becoming endeared towards him just based on his relationship with Michelle. Not that Michelle has ever really been like my favorite, but I was like, okay, this looks sweet. Nope. This looks nice.
Production did that man dirty with that edit.
Yo, that really was crazy.
Yeah, and it's really, really hard to sit here and say like, oh, I like Callum. I think that maybe he's nice.
Big yikes.
He's clearly not. Poor Michelle. Like, come on, justice for Michelle. Again, not my favies, but I don't want her heart to be played with.
Yeah.
I always wanted her to end up with Jay somehow.
Yeah.
Jay I don't know if Jay has somebody else. I don't know if he has somebody else, but that's what I wanted. That was in my fantasy reality relationship world.
They were my ride or dies for that season. They were my they were the pair I picked.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
Didn't end well for you.
Did not end well. Kiddo. Did not end well at all. But all right. I think we've talked about pretty much everything in the episodes except for the eliminations. So let's get into these real quick. The first one that we had was between Jessica, who pretty much threw herself in and everybody just voted along with it. And then Jessica decided to call out Big T, right?
Yes. Big T.
Yes. And this.
What did they play though?
They played.
I don't remember.
That was called Fallout. They were each on these elevated platforms. That was like a glass, sort of surface that they were on.
Oh, those panels.
Yeah, and they had these panels that were in there.
That's why we don't remember. Blink and you miss it.
Yeah. Honestly, I have to tell you, I thought that the way this was shot was actually terrible. Because you couldn't even see what was really going on, I felt like.
Right, why didn't we get an aerial view?
Right. They had these, so they were each on their separate platforms, and the outer, ring of tiles was one color, and then the center was a different color. And you had to only take the ones from the center, leaving the ones on the outside intact. Once you cleared out the tiles from the middle, you just kept throwing them off your platform. You then had to grab this rope and pull it in until you reached the hammer that was there so that you could break the floor beneath you, the glass floor beneath you, and you would go falling out, and whoever completed this first one. I just felt like this looked so like sloppy. It was like, what is even happening right now? I just thought it was very weird. Yeah.
Lame.
Sorry.
And Big T won. Big T won this, sending
in
Jessica
like 5
home.
seconds. You blink and you miss it. I looked down to answer a text message and looked back up, and the competition was over. And I said, "Hold on, I gotta go back. I missed it all."
Big T winner. It's like, wait, what?
Right. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Okay, and then our second elimination that we had in these two episodes was this one I actually did like. Of all the competitions we've gotten so far, daily challenges and eliminations, this one was my favorite. I think it was called Might Light. And it was this giant, basically a giant Connect 4 board, but they were playing Connect 3 in the middle of the arena. Yeah. And you had to take these lights. I think there was one color was yellow, one was purple, and you had to get as many rows of 3, either, vertically, diagonally, whatever, horizontally, and then whoever had the most 3 in a row would be the winner, and it was done in rounds of 3. So in this one though, we had Chauncey get the majority of the votes, but not all of them. I think he got about 18 of them. But what was interesting here was that there was some confusion about how the voting worked and who people would get to who the voted in person to elimination, like who they would actually get to call out, because it was very cut and dry when Jessica went in. Everyone voted for her except for Horacio. So TJ told her, pick any woman you want to go against in an elimination. Somehow in the house, there was this rumor going around that it's only like if you get chosen for elimination, only the people that voted for you can be chosen to go into elimination against you. That was like a rumor going around. TJ quickly dispelled this, told us, no, it doesn't matter. You get voted in, you can pick any man, woman that you want, depending on who's going into elimination. So some people were trying to burn votes just to not be the one that said Chauncey's name, so that in case he went down, thinking maybe he won't be able to pick me, but that was not the case. And Chauncey chose to go against James, which was a surprise to some people because apparently
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, people have been saying that James is like the biggest guy in the house, the strongest guy in the house. So yeah, a little surprising, right? Did you have any predictions on who you thought he might go against?
Honestly, no. Because I don't know enough about Chauncey and how he thinks or anything like that. Because the first time we saw him in the challenge, everything about him was really about Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know this man, so I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I thought was going to happen, but this was like the last thing that I expected to happen, I think.
Yeah, of all the things that I expected, none of it was this.
Yeah. But we got an exciting elimination. Like I was saying, it was 3 rounds. I think in the first round, James won like 9-6. In the second round, James won 6-5. And then it was not until the third round that Chauncey finally, things kind of clicked for him and he figured it out. But he still ended up losing the whole thing 18-17. So super close.
Right there.
Yeah, super close. I was really rooting for Chauncey in this.
Because he figured out his strategy late in the last round, but by that point, James was so gassed out that he just wasn't running quickly enough to make as many moves as he was in previous rounds. So it really wasn't anybody's game.
Right.
If Chauncey had just been a little bit more strategic in the first 2 rounds, he really could have pulled this out because his speed and endurance is definitely so much better than James. It was just the lack of having that strategy, early on is what killed him. But I noticed that a couple people were looking at James kind of like, this is not the type of guy that's going to be great running a final. This guy's going to be gassed right away.
I was surprised at how quickly he tired himself out, honestly.
Yeah. So I don't know how long James will stick in this game.
I hope for a little while, because can we talk about how damn good he looked in them little short shorts? Oh, that ass was out of control.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love watching him just run around in the lights. Yum, 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 yums.
I don't like him.
Come on. Listen, from the neck down, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Not from the neck down.
I don't know. I think he's kind of funny. There were some conversations he was having.
Him, and we didn't get to see much of him in the Challenge UK, because he got busted up in that first episode and he went home.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's another man that we do not know. So I'm excited to get to know him, especially if we don't keep random short.
I enjoy his and Huey's relationship about James being listen. People might think that Huey is kind of a weak competitor, which I don't think. I actually think Huey's a lot better than people give him credit for. But I enjoy it.
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah.
Come on, Huey. Everybody's always trying to shit on this man. Oh,
I can't remember. Was it that people thought he was weak, or they thought he was too emotional? I don't remember what his.
I think it was
thing
both.
Was.
Yeah.
I think the emotion may have overridden some of the weak, but I do think it was both.
Yeah.
I do think they thought more so that he was too emotional for playing this game.
Yeah. But I like the two of them together, and I liked hearing James say, listen, I know that some people might want to say Huey's name at some point, but he's one of the only people in here that keeps me sane. I don't know, I like their friendship. I like James.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. And what didn't he also say that if they're not married by a certain point, they're gonna get married to each other?
Yes.
And then Huey got up, was like, well, I don't know about all that now.
Yeah.
And Huey was like, bye, girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The way that James was looking in that moment, I might have said yes to almost anything. No prenup, no nothing. No prenup. Like, you want my 3876? Like, whatever, you can have.
Oh my
But like,
God.
yeah, he's hot as hell. So I don't know.
That's so funny. Oh man. All
Y'all
right.
crazy.
Well, yeah.
Y'all are crazy. Like we said it.
You don't have to say it, because the thing is, like, y'all have known me for so long that you still choose to hang out with me twice a week. I come the way I come. I unapologetically be. You choose to be here, so you're definitely crazier than me because you know me. You know I'm not well.
You know I'm not well. Oh God.
Oh my God.
So yeah, you're always gonna be crazier than I. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. Um,
Yeah.
but all right, yeah. So we lost, unfortunately, Jessica and Chauncey,
Mm.
which means, unfortunately, Kyle Petty has taken a couple of
Don't
hits.
show the graphic.
I'm sorry. I got it.
Don't show it to us. No.
Both of them.
Oh my gosh, 2 weeks of the challenge and 2 hits to Team Petty. That's all right. That's all right. Leave my graphic up. Hold on. Let me talk about who I got left.
There you go.
I got Miss Berna. All right. She was in some hot water last time, but not this time. Ain't nobody talking nobody Berna. So let's go. Let's go. My king, Corey Lay, still in this. Ain't nobody talking about him. Ooh, and I love him walking around this house with nobody's shirt. Thank you. We've got Kyland and Melissa a little nervous because, showmances can sometimes make themselves targets, but I do think that Kyland is in a wonderful situation to send that motherfucker home. All right, so Kyland's not going home anytime soon. Melissa, I get nervous, see, but I don't at the same time, because you remember, like, the first time we saw her in those eliminations, she is a scrappy little one.
Yeah.
She will kick you in the face and think nothing of it. She got a kid at home. She's going to win this money. We already saw Big T defend her crown. Okay. She ain't going nowhere anytime soon. And she's got that political, social game that's going to keep her safe for a little while. And then we have Sir Huey rounding out the rest of my team. I feel good about these 6 motherfuckers. All right. So y'all not going to be seeing me out of this house anytime soon. I still got some good people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Still have some very solid people. Yeah.
I do. I got solid people. Y'all not gonna count me out yet. We got a lot of game left.
I said it off stream. I think what
Yeah.
we've learned in these 3 shows that we've done drafts for this year is that being the first person to choose your draft team is a cursed position.
It could be. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to change the narrative though. Team Petty's coming for the crown. Y'all not gonna count me out.
Okay.
I took 2 hits early, but
Listen,
I'm in it.
listen,
Loyalty.
we have to say too that the 2 that you did lose were the 2 last that you had chosen. So it's not like you were like,
right.
It's not like you picked them first and you're like,
right.
Oh.
There were no undrafted this season. We took everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
They were the last. That's what was left. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect these people though, in case they stumble upon this conversation.
Listen, I have 2 people that I didn't even choose. Okay, that's.
Oh my God, that's right.
You
that's
sure
right.
did. You sure did. You were stuck with them.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. What's up? I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I'm gonna be mean.
But yeah, and then Gina's team here still going
I love
strong.
my team. I love my
Gina's
team.
is fucking sick. Well, do you? You still love Callum? Cheating ass.
Well, he can go. I'm mad at him.
Cheating ass motherfucker.
I'm mad
he
at
was the
him.
last person.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So you guys each have a showmance that you selected in the draft, not on purpose, obviously, but just how it worked out. Who on my team do you think is most likely to get into a showmance? Do you think I'll have one at some point?
Well, I mean, I have to assume that Nerys and Horacio happen on this season.
Yeah, they do happen on.
Well, I don't have Horacio though.
No, so
I mean like a showmance within.
Oh, like within your team. Okay, got it.
Team Dunphy. No. We don't know enough about Emmanuel though, because didn't he get all wrapped up with Tori and her sorry ass?
Wasn't he?
So we don't really know.
If I remember correctly, Emmanuel was in like almost like a triangle type situation, wasn't he? Were there 2 women looking at Emmanuel?
Probably. Who knows?
Listen, if I was in there, you'd be looking at a love square. Okay, because I would definitely.
I don't remember. I feel like there was someone else.
Emmanuel.
I don't remember.
It could have been. It could have.
That feels like a million years ago.
Yeah.
It basically was with the amount of TV we
Wow.
watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it, right? For these episodes. I know I'm excited. I saw on the next on, it looks like there's some kind of altercation. It looks like I saw some people arguing. It sounded like some glass broke. So maybe a fight. Maybe TJ's got to come to the house. I don't know. Could be some fireworks next week. We'll see. But
I didn't watch the next one.
yeah,
I try to
And we still-
avoid it, but I did hear a lot of commotion.
yeah. And obviously we have yet to see our our champions, our mercenaries. TJ keeps talking about the clock, when it gets down to 0, chaos ensues or whatever. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, pretty exciting. I think I think for me, my biggest complaint so far is that I feel like some of these competitions, the challenges have not been like
Yeah.
the standard I'm expecting. I did like Might Light, like I said, but other than that, the elimination that Big T and Jessica did and our 2 daily challenges so far, wasn't a fan of, honestly.
Which,
I hope
not for nothing. The 2 dailies, like, it almost feels like we're having the same problem that we're having on Big Brother. I feel like that was basically the same competition in different fonts. Like, were they not both the same thing? Like, everybody's climbing over each other.
I guess
to
in a
get
way.
from point A to point B. Like,
one on land, one on sea, one in the sea.
it felt like the same competition, but like a little different.
Yeah, that's fair. But we'll see, I guess, right? Anybody have anything else for the benefit of the community before we wrap this up?
No.
I don't think so.
We still have a whole nother thing to do.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. So,
Although I feel like it's another short BB pod.
We
because,
always
like,
say that, and we always end up talking for an hour.
yeah, we'll just end up complaining to each other for an hour because this
Well,
is a
yeah.
real
Basically.
downer
Yeah.
this season.
I hate this show so much.
I know. But all right. So
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
right after this, we'll probably take just a few minutes break. So grab another snack.
minutes.
Oh my God, a little hiccup there. Hey.
Pick up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, grab another snack, refresh your drink, use the bathroom quick, and in just a few minutes, we'll be back to talk about Big Brother 25 this week in the house, this past week that we just watched, and what could be to come, maybe. And that's right after this. And then we'll be back Monday to talk Survivor and Big Brother again, right? Monday. That'll be 9:30 and 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. And that's what we have coming up.
Mhm.
Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, everywhere, including Blue Sky. Okay.
We should
Also,
probably start talking
yeah. We're not very active on Blue Sky. There is
No, we're not.
there
No, we're
is
Not quite
there is
Clue
a
and Blue.
profile.
Mm.
There is a profile for you to follow. There just might not be happening. There might not be much happening there. That's all.
We're just very silent.
yeah. But check us out on the socials. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So give us a great review. Listen to us there if you can't watch us. Yeah, I think that's it. Right? Is that everything?
I think so.
Yes.
All right. All right. We'll see you in a few minutes. Bye, everybody.